Like they specifically said to me, this guy's putting so many bandit signs out. We got to stop him. They hired 4 extra full-time sign people.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Dive into Real Estate Investing for Newbies podcast. I have a very special guest here today. Young, started out in the business, has a lot of experience, crushing it right now in today's market. And I'm excited. I'd like to welcome Zach again to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast, Zach, and appreciate you taking out your time to be here today.
Cecil, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. So Zach, man, tell us about your story. From what I know, you started doing this at 17 years old. And then I think what you made your first 100,000 your first year at 17. And then now just scaled and the business has exploded for you. Like, tell us where you're located and how you started.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm 21 years old now. I actually live in Port St. Lucie, Florida. That's where most of my real estate wholesaling deals are done. I do some JVing around the whole country, but mostly around the state of Florida. But primarily, that's where I do Port St. Lucie, Florida, Treasure Coast area. Not a lot of people know about it, but it's a heavily saturated market, 200,000 people. But really,
my boy Tom Kroll out there, huh?
Yeah. Tom Kroll, he's out there too.
Yeah.
Well, he was out there, but yeah.
Okay.
So I started at 17 years old. So my dad's actually Rick Ginn. So he started out real estate wholesaling in 2005. And basically, I was a bag boy since I was 14. I had no interest in real estate. Rick never really told me about real estate at all. And that was basically it. So at 17, I was a bag boy. I was big in high school wrestling. And really one day I decided I was kind of sick of being a bag boy. They made me start scrubbing toilets. I was working all the time. I was making $8 an hour. It was actually minimum wage back then. Believe it or not, in the state of Florida, I was not happy. And I knew there was something better for myself. And on my dad's desk was a check for $20,000 from wholesaling. And I told myself, I need to learn how to do this. So eventually I went to ask him, how can I get into real estate wholesaling? And he basically said, I'm not really going to, if you want it bad enough, you can just learn it. And kind of tough love. But I don't think he really wanted me to get into wholesaling. It's not for the fan of heart to get into. So basically what I did is I read every single wholesaling book I could get my hands on and watched every YouTube video, which there was not many YouTube videos in 2017. Pretty ironic, right. I just started sticking bandit signs out. I used every single dollar I had on my bank account. I had about $300, spent that all on bandit signs. And on my high school wrestling tournaments, I had an old 2004 Honda Accord. So after my wrestling tournaments, I put bandit signs out, and eventually I got my first call actually during my class, and I got kicked out for answering it. And eventually I had someone who's looking to sell their property for cash. It was the perfect situation. And I go out there, go meet them. I actually had to bring Rick with me because I was 17 at the time. And he told me that I actually can't go on the appointment myself because at 17, you can't sign a contract. So he signed the contract, but I basically negotiated the deal. Wholesaled that for $25,000, basically did another couple deals, turned 18, started doing everything myself. And then by the time I graduated high school, made about $100,000. And then from there, I was wholesaling by myself for a little and basically came back from school and partnered up with Rick. And now we run the largest wholesaling business on the Treasure Coast here in Florida.
Wow, man, that's awesome. So, you know what, for a lot of people who because I have nephews, I have family, and people starting out, some people just think that wholesaling or getting into real estate period, it's not worth it, especially at a young age. But from where you started to now, of course, being blessed with your father in real estate, but he didn't really give you an easy time getting into it. He was like, look, you got to learn this and do this. He didn't say, well, look, I'm going to show you. It looked like he just threw you out there and like, just swim, learn how to do it. So I think that's one of the good things. So kind of tell us, like, so after you actually made what, 25,000 on one of your first deals, you said? Was it 25?
Yep. First deal, 17 years old.
So did you take that money and reinvest it back in the business, or you just been like, hey man, I'm young, I'm gonna go, give me a new car, just party or whatever? What did you do with that money?
I really wanted a Camaro, but I was not going to buy one. I reinvested it all into bandit signs. It was like $3,000. And I just basically kept the 20 grand just so I could start wholesaling forever. That was the most money I've ever seen in my life. And that would have been years as a bag boy at $8 an hour. So, spent basically, I'd say I reinvested it all, but it was really $3,000, but that's a lot of bandit signs. And, basically just scaled it up, had people put bandit signs out for me. And I scaled that business like crazy until the actual county decided to have a meeting personally about me of this guy is like, they specifically said to me, this guy's putting so many bandit signs out. We got to stop him. They hired 4 extra, like full-time sign people to just pick up signs from 9 to 5. So there's just no point in putting signs anymore. I went up to college for 1 semester, started cold calling out, 2 semesters, started cold calling out of there, learned I could take my classes online, came back home, and bandit signs weren't a thing anymore because I just saturated it like crazy. So I learned cold calling, and then I learned SMS. And this was SMS in 2018. This was cutting edge stuff back then. It was insane. But SMS now is still great, but it's not as good as it was. So I definitely had a shift, but it was definitely a fun experience.
Right. So let me ask you this. So have you finished college, or are you still taking?
I graduated at 19 from University of Florida.
Okay.
But I did most of it online, but I was not a straight A student because I was just all into wholesaling. I did the bare minimum to get by, but I got it.
So let's talk about wholesaling, man, because most people either think wholesaling is illegal. And then from the amount of time that you've been doing it, for the years you've been doing it, how have you taken wholesaling? And I know we talked previously, you were saying now you kind of outsourcing it now. How have you taken it and actually made it a business instead of a job? Because we know that wholesaling, man, it's a hustle. It can be a hustle, right?
Yeah. I mean, hustle is a very taboo word now for entrepreneurs because the thing about being an entrepreneur changes every single year. It was cool to be a hustle guy. Now it's cool to run a passive business. I don't know what the next thing's going to be, but I just do what I do. So I was in hustle mode for 2 years. Not going to lie. I had to get the skill set right because I can't teach an employee in this business without me personally being an expert. How can I actually teach my acquisitions manager to close deals if I can't actually go in front of a seller and close a $40,000 wholesale deal? Right. There's no way that they could actually wrap their minds around making $40,000 on the wholesale deal without them physically being right next to me, seeing me do it. So I had to get the skill set necessary to do that. So that's why at 18 years old, basically Monday through Friday, 2 to 7 p.m. for about 2 years straight, I cold called. That was one of the biggest things for me to gain my knowledge. That hustle mode, it was straight hustle, extremely cheap marketing, but I learned how to talk to sellers and deal with just very aggressive people. And that blossomed my skill set where eventually I'd make enough money where I can actually hire someone to actually go on the appointments for me. So I can sit back all day and actually do the pretty big level decisions when it comes to wholesaling. Stuff like, should I get into RVM? Should I actually get in this marketing channel? Should I do this specific thing? The small little decisions that make a huge difference. But yeah, it's truly a business right now for me. And it's a huge blessing. The cool part about actually owning a real estate wholesaling business versus the hustle is during a hustle, I was working 80, 90 hours a week, making 200 to 300K. Now we're at 7 figures and I'm working 5 to 6 hours a week. That's the true, that's the end goal. So people need to think about it, but I don't think you should start running a business until you're an extreme expert at wholesaling.
Was it hard for you to actually outsource it those 2 years and let somebody else, like they say, Tim Ferriss, the 4-hour work weeks. Was it hard for you to let that go because you had became so skilled at learning this craft, and now you have to train somebody? Did that just take you a while, or you just got to a point where, yeah, I'm gonna just let it all go? I'm tired of running to these appointments and cold calling or whatever, following up with, things like that.
See, so you cannot be doing wholesaling, have a huge passion for it 90 hours a week and then go from 5 hours a week and be extremely happy doing it. like you're going to go crazy, like not doing it. Cause that's my passion. That's my baby. That's my business.
Right.
So the only way I'm sane doing that right now is going behind a YouTube video and like actually talk, like doing a video a day talking about wholesaling. That's the only thing that could make me somewhat sane, giving up that part of the, not giving up, but like stepping away from it. But you got to think it to the point where I make more money having people do it for me than I actually doing it. So me working 90 hours a week, that's 90 hours a week. But if I had 4 employees working 40 hours a week, that's 160 hours they're putting in the business, which is better. So you have to look at it like that. But it was very hard. It's the process isn't hard. Finding someone training them, that's very, very easy. Read the book Traction, like we do the meeting. It's very simple. Actually giving up control of the revenue generator that has built you up to where you're at now and just passing that to someone, extreme level, that's hard. And it never gets easy. Passing my marketing off to someone, passing my dispo to someone is very tough. That acquisitions was the hardest one because that's the part that makes all the money. But having the extreme trust, it became a lot easier the second time around. So we have a little process where I'm with an acquisitions manager. They'll watch me close 4 deals, and then we'll do 50-50 with them the next 4 appointments where I'll talk half, they talk half, but I close it. And then they'll do 4 other deals where they'll close it. I'm basically silent. And once I see them close like 4 $30,000 deals, I'm like, okay, this guy kind of knows what he's doing. I can step it off. So it wasn't like hey, there you go out there. Here's the appointments. Here's the leads. Go. Like it was a very gradual process. And that's kind of why I was able to let go a lot easier.
So right now you have, I think you say you got 4 people on your staff that you've trained.
Yeah, a couple of EAs, acquisitions managers, mostly on the marketing side, though. Those are most of the employees are at.
Right. So do you find that most people get caught up in the marketing side? I know sometimes I'll get stuck, but for where you are right now, what is working in your market? Because I think you say y'all are in Port Lucie.
Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, Port St. Lucie. So is that I know you're working in other markets, but is that the only market that you've been making a lot of traction with, that's been working for you?
Yeah. So about 80% of our deals come from Port St. Lucie, St. Lucie County. And then 20% of our deals are basically virtual wholesaling. So I don't know why, but we consistently can do $40,000 deals in our personal market where our average wholesaler is making 10. So we just hammer that thing like crazy. We are heavy in direct mail, heavy into SMS, and heavy into cold calling. The best ROI for us right now is SMS and then cold calling and then direct mails, but direct mail is the easiest. Like we get the call in, acquisition manager answers it, goes on the appointment. So that is our top one. The best ROI has been SMS for us though.
Right. Do you find that the conversion after are y'all making a lot of offers pretty much after on the spot, or are y'all just soon as they contact y'all are y'all going to look at the house or just making the offers on the phone? How is that set up for you?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we like to get a price out of the seller basically before we go meet them. And then once we get a decent price or really good motivation, we'll just go meet them. Our problem in Port St. Lucie is our acquisitions managers have to compete with 7 to 8 wholesalers, every single seller.
Wow.
Our motivated seller gets at least 3 to 4 direct mail pieces a week, at least 1 cold call every other day, an RVM, and probably 2 texts a day. If you have high equity in Port St. Lucie, you're going to get hammered. It's because there's so many virtual wholesalers coming at. There's so many like people actually in Port St. Lucie. It's actually a big population, like just so many wholesalers. So because we're so saturated, we just, even if it's not the craziest looking deal, we'll just go meet them. And we just got to build that connection and then follow up like crazy. That's always been the best for us. So yeah, I mean, if there's any slight motivation, we go meet them.
See, that's good because some people, like I say, you have to know your market. Some people feel like, well, I don't need to go meet them. I just send them an offer. Some people feel like you need to get in front of them. You need to talk to them. And you've built rapport already with them if you talk to them on the phone or through text message. But once you get in front of them, it's more of, well, what's your real motivation, And some wholesalers, and like I say, everybody's different. I guess everybody's different based on their market, how they, operate their business. But I feel the same way. I think you should meet, and you can at least better gauge, because nobody else is really meeting with these sellers. Really, if you really be honest, nobody's not meeting with them, and they feel like, I don't know if you're serious or not, so.
That's what we do. And also you got to think about this is when you're talking to a motivated seller, it's true. They're getting calls like crazy, but no one's going to meet them. And if we're not the highest offer, we're never the highest offer. Like, so if we have 4 wholesalers give offers, we're always going to be the lowest. And so we're always going to lose. But if I go meet them in person, have a contract, and we start talking about fishing, and we say, hey, I mean, are you ready to make a decision now? I'll get a deal done. And I'll make 40,000 versus the average guy on the phone is going to make 10. So our goal is never to be the highest offer. So that's why we don't give offers on the phone. We're never the highest.
Right. Yeah, that's good. That's good. So tell me, man, what have been some of your challenges, you think, since you've been in the business that you've learned thus far, and you're able to tell other people getting into this business that, hey, you don't want to do that, or this is what you need to do?
Yeah. I mean, wholesaling is not a sexy business. I don't think it is. It's not like e-commerce or drop shipping where, honestly, I don't think it's a thing where you can just sit back and be passive about it. There's no laptop thing. You can do some virtual stuff. It's hard work. It's a real grind. You're not going to be able to get into it and actually become a millionaire within a year or two without putting in the work. It kind of sucks, but if I probably knew, I always say this, if I knew how much work wholesaling was going to be, I probably would have never done it. I would have been done day trading or something where you get rich a lot quicker. It's just a skill. It's like learning anything. Like it was a lot more work than I ever imagined it took. And it was a huge grind, but now I can make millions of dollars with my eyes closed. And I don't need any more skills. Like I'm already at it. Like for the rest of my life, I'm pretty much set with wholesaling.
Right.
That was probably the biggest struggle I had, was just building up that 10,000 hours. It's not fun. There's a lot of video games I never played because I was doing that. But that was one of the hardest ones. Really, we did a lot of wholetailing. So I had to learn pretty quick how to flip houses. And that was fun. There's a lot of Chinese drywall in Florida, and I learned pretty quick how to deal with that. And just the constant minutia of listing a property. And there's just so much in real estate I had to learn. But I think the biggest struggle initially starting out was just really getting that 10,000 hours in, talking to sellers and building that skill set. Once you get that, the confidence kind of comes with you, and you can consistently start getting deals on a monthly basis. But that was it. Like I was so blessed that I never was married. I didn't have kids. Like I had not much schoolwork. Like I had all the time in the world to actually learn this. So the biggest struggle was getting that 10,000 hours in.
Yeah. I hope people are listening to this, especially those, the younger generation that's trying to get into wholesaling. So now you're actually teaching now, right? You're doing some coaching. You have students.
Yeah, I mean, I have students, but I don't sell coaching. I don't do any of that. Like I'm adamantly against selling coaching. I know for a fact I'm the only real estate wholesaling coach that like does this, that I just give everything for free.
Right.
So that's what I do. Like I'll teach people real estate wholesaling for free. That's it. I don't want anyone to pay for anything. I do a Zoom every Friday. If you want to hop on, I got a free mastermind. I have a free wholesaling course. Like I've been blessed so much by wholesaling that I got to give back. And I got a lot of time on my hands, and I'm pretty young. So I started with like 100 subscribers, just screaming about wholesaling. And eventually it's grown to where it's at now, where I just help thousands of people on a daily basis in real estate wholesaling. And I've helped a lot of people change their lives, and it's been absolutely a blessing for me. So just trying to bless the community back by teaching some of the skills that I learned in wholesaling, and just trying to help the people out.
Man, that's good. You are a true go-giver, man. I have a lot of people that's not doing that. So based on you putting out the content, people you talk to, what you think has been the difference between one student being successful and another student just seem like they just can't get themselves off the ground, just stuck.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the dedication to it. That's really it. I get, I mean, over 20 to 30 direct messages on my Instagram every single day asking why I'm not successful in wholesaling. I get a lot. I get a lot of comments on my YouTube channel. And I just basically say the same thing. I have a free Zoom every Friday at 6:15 p.m. I'll live stream it on my YouTube.
Right.
I say, why haven't you been on it? I'll put you to the fire and to the flame. And then everyone who goes on there, I always ask the same questions. How many hours did you spend cold calling? Or no, first of all, it's like, why haven't you got a deal? Oh, I have no money. Okay, well, go do for sale by owners and start cold calling them. And they say, oh, it's too saturated. You can't get a deal for it. I said, fine. I'm going to go on YouTube for 2 hours and I'm going to go cold call for sale by owners for free using Google Voice. I find 3 cash buyers, 2 really good deals, and then 1 deal on a probate. And I just live stream it and I show them, said, hey, look, I just made like a $40,000 deal, literally live streamed it. No editing at all for free doing this. So you do it now. Okay, I'll go do it. How many hours did you do it last week? Oh, I couldn't, my back was hurting. Oh, okay. Next week. Why didn't you do it? Oh, I did 2 hours, but I didn't get a deal. Like you just got to do the work. There's a certain amount of hours you got to put into this business to actually start getting deals. And that it's a formula. It's not like you're fishing. Like, you do enough of these, you'll get it. You need about 300 to 200 driving for dollars leads before you get a wholesaling deal. It's just a numbers game.
Right.
That's it.
Got to know your KPIs. You got to know them. So are y'all doing strictly buy and hold now? Or are you just strictly wholesaling, hoteling? Are you holding any of these properties, long-term, multifamily, or anything like that?
Yeah. So me and Rick, we own multiple businesses. So we do a lot. But wholesaling is just my baby. It's my passion. So right now we do buy and hold some properties. Most of what we're doing now, just because of the market, we're actually buying it. We're going to put maybe 1,000 to 2,000 on a very lipstick renovation on it. And then we're going to throw it back on the market. And we just sell them to end buyers, not cash buyers, because the end buyers will pay more money, usually on conventional terms on there. And then we'll sell them for the biggest profits. So I'm able to turn $30,000 deals into $40,000, $45,000, $50,000 deals because I'm able to do that. And then most of our rentals, I don't really do rentals like traditional wise because the ROI sucks.
Right.
Maybe we're at 15, 16, 17% like cash on cash. And that sucks for me. I'm sorry. So what most of our rentals are on creative terms. So I'll take over someone's mortgage and I'll get like an 80 to 90% ROI on that rental.
Right.
So why would I not do that? Like I'll take the 90% ROI over the 17% all day. And if the economy crashes and rents go down 30%, oh no, I'm making 60% ROI.
Right.
So
I agree. I agree. That is. Yeah, I agree. So look, the name of this show is to dive into real estate investing for newbies. I know we just discussed some things, but if you were to start all over again, what would you suggest to a person diving into real estate? How
much money do I got?
How much money? That's what you asked them, or
how much money do I have from starting out?
Oh, that's what your question would be?
Yeah. No. If I'm starting out, how much money would you give? Like, would I be able to have if I want to start out? Because it'd be different.
What if you didn't have any money though? Whatever you're starting from scratch, I guess.
$0. I would literally go to Zillow and start cold calling for sale by owners and with my Google Voice. And I would probably spend 100 hours doing it per week until I got a deal. And then I'll find someone who's looking to sell the property, go meet them, put that property under contract, assign it to a cash buyer, because I'll build a lot of cash buyers with the for sale by owners because there's a lot of rich people on there that just don't want to deal with realtors. Sell to that person, make 5K, start investing actually into a like big dialing service, maybe a Zen call or something like that. Start buying PropStream, cold call high equities until I make 100K, and then make another 100K the next year, make 200K, start getting acquisitions people, ramp it up from there. That's exactly what I would do.
Boom. That's practical and simple, right there.
It's not sexy.
Nah, it ain't no excuse though, man. There's no excuse out here. I think so many people are going after same leads, vacant, motivated, and there's so much low hanging fruit out there that people are not going after. I know Rick, I think he started. I know he specialized in the probate. That's kind of how I got associated with learning him and about his course. But it's a lot of low hanging fruit out there that everybody is just everywhere. It's motivated, vacant. You know what I'm saying? So, but like you said, Zillow is one free place where you can find leads with phone numbers where you don't have to pay a skip tracing service to get them, So I agree.
If you gave me some money, I would drive for dollars instead, because I think it's a lot better. Like if I had $200-300, but like $0, Zillow for sale by owner, hands down.
Would you still do bandit signs?
They're banned in my county, so no. That was 2017. If I want to market that bandit signs work, I would get my first deal and then do bandit signs if I had no money, because I had $300. I was balling back then, so
right.
People would tell me, you had $300. I had no money. I get that excuse all the time too. So no excuses. For sale by owner. Start cold calling. You will learn the skills to talk to sellers, and that will translate to anything. Even if wholesaling doesn't work, those skill sets of talking to sellers will help you in any job interview. So you're not wasting your time doing this.
Right. So Zach, man, tell the audience how they can get a hold of you. You mentioned a Zoom call. Can you mention that again? I'll probably put it in the show notes, but yeah, let us know how we can get a hold of you, your handles and everything.
I mean, dude, like I'm just here to help people out. Like I'm not here. I don't have a sales pitch. I don't have a reverse engineering funnel to buy my course. I don't have any of that. So you don't have to follow me on anything. I do run the largest real estate wholesaling mastermind in the country. I think we're at 7,000 members here. So you go to Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. You can go join that. I have a YouTube channel at Flip with Rick, or I have a Zackin channel too. Check it out. But really, like, I'm just here to provide value. So that's what I want to do.
Hey, man. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you taking our time to be on the show. And hopefully the audience have taken some great notes, and y'all go back and re-listen to it. And I'll have Zach's information in it. Like he said, he's not technically a coach, but he's a go-giver. He likes to give, and that's what it's all about. So appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Peace.